You've been listening and reading, and you're ready to be the lighthouse authoritative parent. Calm, steady, clear boundaries, no yelling, no chaos. But your partner, they're still in sergeant mode, barking orders, raising their voice, or they're in Disney dad-mom mode. Extra snacks, extra screen time, zero follow-through. And now you're stuck. You try to hold a boundary and your partner undermines it. Or your partner yells and you rush to save the kids. Welcome to the good cop, bad cop trap. I've lived this from the bad cop side. I was the rule setter, the homework enforcer, the chore chart parent, and the one who said no to the new toy. The one who made sure responsibility came before reward. And in my case, those differences were intensified by an alienation campaign by my ex, something that eventually ended up in court and was thankfully rectified by a judge who saw what was actually happening. But here's the important part. Most parenting style conflicts don't end up in family court. They happen in good, stable, loving relationships every single day. Two good parents, two different styles, one growing tension. So what do we do when our parenting styles feel like opposites? Welcome back to Insights from Inside. I'm Amanda, and I'm really excited that you decided to join us today for our discussion on how to reconcile two opposing parenting styles. One thing that's really important to understand in this situation is that you don't need to be clones of each other. And in fact, diversity in parenting is super healthy, but only if you're playing on the same team. And that team aspect is really important. You cannot be on opposing teams. Psychologically, when two parenting styles clash, they don't balance each other. They end up polarizing. Let's say dad thinks mom is too soft. He sees extra chances, extra cuddling, and not enough consequences. So what does he end up doing? He becomes more strict to balance it with stronger punishments, sharper tone, and less flexibility. Mom sees this escalation and thinks, whoa, that's too harsh. So she compensates, more comforting, more exceptions, and maybe even quietly undoing consequences. And now the dad thinks she's undermining me, and mom thinks he's too rigid. And instead of moving toward each other, they drift further apart. Meanwhile, the kids are figuring this out. They know who to ask for things, and they learn how to split their parents on the two opposite sides. They ask the lenient parent for candy. They avoid the strict parent when they're looking for permission. And they play the emotional gap between you. Not because they're manipulative masterminds, but because kids are adaptive. They go where the path is easiest. So how do we stop the drift? Both parents need to move towards the center. The strict parent reframes soft as connection, and the soft parent can reframe strict as structure. But here's the truth. Connection without structure creates anxiety, and structure without connection creates resentment. And kids need both. So let's talk about real strategies. First is the united front rule. This one's hard, but it's really powerful. And the rule is simple. You never ever disagree in front of the audience. And yes, your kids are the audience. Let's say your partner says, that's it, no TV for a month. And inside your head, you're thinking, a month? That's really extreme. But in the moment, you say, you heard your dad, no TV. That's it. No eye rolling, no sighing, no we'll talk about this later, no rescuing. You back them up. Then later, behind closed doors, you have the real conversation. You say something like, hey, I backed you up, but maybe a month is too long. Why did you set it for that long? I want to understand your thoughts. This is the post-game meeting. This is where couples either grow stronger or more divided. When you protect each other publicly, you build trust privately. When you override each other publicly, you erode trust privately. A united front doesn't mean you agree on everything. It means you value the partnership more than winning in the moment. And it completely shuts down the kids' manipulation. Because once kids know that there's no crack in the wall, they stop pushing there. As a career educator, I do need to throw in something related to school that may be a bit controversial. I always back the teacher in front of my kids. There have been plenty of situations where I've disagreed with my child's educator, but my kids never know that. If there's something happening that I'm not a fan of, I am very careful to address that with the teacher directly. That teacher has to be with my kid every day, and I do not want to undermine their ability to reach any of their students by publicly being angry with them or publicly saying something about that educator's choices. So please keep that strategy in mind when you're dealing with your kids' educators as well. Let's talk about strategy 2, which is to play to your strengths. Instead of fighting your differences, use them as your advantage. Maybe one of you is naturally playful, great at bedtime stories, silly voices, emotional talks, spontaneous dance parties in the kitchen. Let that parent own that zone. Maybe the other parent thrives in structure, morning routines, homework checks, calendar management, teaching responsibilities. Let them own that zone. This isn't imbalance, it's specialization. Strong teams don't duplicate skills, they complement them. But here's the key. You have to say it out loud. I love how you get them laughing. I struggle with that. Or maybe something like, I appreciate how consistent you are with homework. That's not my strength. Validation lowers defenses. When your partner feels respected, they stop feeling the need to overcorrect. And something subtle happens. The strict parent often softens up, and the soft parent strengthens naturally because they no longer feel threatened. Your child does not need identical parents. There's benefits from a child seeing two adults navigate life differently. One might be more cautious, one more adventurous, one more structured, and one more spontaneous. That diversity prepares them for the real world, but only if those two adults respect each other. It's okay to have conflict, and it's okay to disagree. It's even okay for your kids to occasionally see you repair a disagreement respectfully. That helps them with their own conflicts. The goal isn't sameness, it's balance. Connection and structure, firm and warm, different but united. If you're the bad cop parent like I was, know this. Holding boundaries does not make you the villain. And if you're the soft parent, know this. Leading with empathy does not make you weak. Your family doesn't need clones. They need a lighthouse, steady, anchored, and working together. Thanks for listening to Insights from Insight. I'll see you next week.